I left out the intro in the first video. Here it is. So there have been 2 updates to Gentrieve, 2, since I last made a video. I would have had a video out for the previous one, except, well, I can't really play this game while recording, apparently. As you will see, by my many minor screw-ups. But those minor screw-ups could have been a lot worse if, say, I was on a world with deeper pits. Anyways, custom generator, didn't show it off last time. You can choose what items you want in a world, you can choose what the seed for the world is, you can choose how many rooms you want per item, from 3 to 15, 3 makes a very short world, 15 making quite a long one. You can pretty much enter anything for a seed, as long as it doesn't have a space in it, I think. It's gotta be, letters and numbers only, actually. I think. Anyhow, we're gonna go with 6 rooms per item this time. And while that's loading, I'll just read off to you some of the patch notes. So we had version 0.62a, which fixed a dynamic lighting glitch that I didn't even know existed, fixed that sort of weird texture scaly bug that I pointed out, improves the placement of the little tiny stick lights that go on the ground. World generation is a lot less linear, which is nice, where you'll see some of that. The random texture picking along walls. Sometimes before it would sort of be very extremely contrasting textures you get, now it won't do that. Color selection, that was one of the big things. Rooms are a lot better themed in terms of color now, where you won't get, say, like a weird, oh well, this wall's pink and this wall's green right beside each other. It'll mostly try to select from colors that are very similar. The bug for the spiked room when you walk in, the one where it was a dash room, and you'd get hurt when you walked in, that's been fixed. Dual fire weapons are a little bit more accurate, because before the shots fired from very far apart, now they fire from a little bit closer. Gotta check how much percentage, 71. Gotta talk faster. Load of other little tiny fixes. And some more stuff with little tiny fixes, and performance increase things, and some homing missile stuff changed, and more secret rooms, more expansion, and item rooms. Yes, apparently there's secret rooms that don't show up on the map, but if you get this thing called Advanced Vision, you can see them. I haven't actually found it yet, but I want to, because it seems like it'd be interesting. There's actually a screenshot of it on the IndieDB page. So, we start with the grappling hook, because I chose to start with a random item. Grappling hook's actually probably one of my favorite upgrades. And don't mind the lag at the beginning, it's just sorting itself out. Horrible lag, but it's fine. We don't really need a save room, yeah. So those power-up rooms that I mentioned in the previous video, the ones that are full heal and full ammo, they're actually not power-ups. I feel kind of dumb now. Also, I feel dumb because I just missed that grapple shot. They're recharge rooms, sort of like in Metroid Prime, where you can go get the thing, go out, go back in, recharge. And of course, you may have noticed, this level is also pink. Terrible luck with that. I swear they're not pink lemons, like, they're not all pink. Some of them aren't pink. One of these days, I'll get some footage of a not pink level. You might have noticed that the textures seem to mesh a little bit better now, and that they're not weird colors. Hey look, this isn't all pink, but this does have a lot of enemies. This is one of these rooms that I was mentioning if you were in the suggestion thread. I'm Gentrieve, by the way. I'm there. There's sometimes a lot of enemies that spawn in rooms, like way too many. I don't know if, well, it's not necessarily too many, but like as you can see right now, I'm handling it, but on harder difficulties, when you get, say, 25 enemies spawning in one room like this, all in one spot, it becomes very difficult. So, tether beam room. But we also have bomb door. So that's already two paths we could end up following, depending on what we get from the boss. Compulsive map checker, I'm sorry. Missile door. So, three paths. Plasma beam door, four paths. Video hiccuped just a little bit there, so there could possibly be slight commentary desync. I've been trying to experiment with different players for playing with, you know, videos and stuff, for commentating. And I have this GOM player right now, because the other one was DivX, but it started to screw up too. So, I fixed Audacity though. I was 0.7 of a version number behind, which is actually quite a lot. So, and that's what I mean when I said on the thread, room connections going through rooms, it can be a little bit disorienting at times, but I suppose it's supposed to be disorienting. So, the shots are closer together now, so you can actually accurately aim them by using the left and right little arrow tab things. Yeah, sorry, my voice. Before it was a lot more difficult. So, fairly standard boss. Can't teleport, can move along the ground, has a couple weapons. That's actually only half the boss, I thought that was the whole thing, but... No, there's another one over here. Those crates... I think the explosion radius should just be a little larger on them. It feels like they don't blow up big enough. So, tether beam. Very fun. It can attach any 2 points together and, well, pull them together. It works on objects, it works on enemies, it works on walls, it works on tons of things. So, for example, I can drag that guy over a bit, or I can do something a little more fun. Like that. It does have a maximum range though, as you can see there. It's a little bit short, but I suppose it is a very powerful weapon if used properly. I also feel the projectile for it could be a little bit faster, maybe? Because when you get into fast-moving enemies, it's like, it becomes kind of useless. And if you're trying to move fast, it's also kind of useless because it's very difficult to aim. But for, you know, stuff like that. Again, a little more hiccup there. Actually, if anyone could recommend a good AVI player, feel free to comment. I would really like that, because I can't seem to find one. Maybe I'm just bad at this. Oh, there's another thing. Elevators. I don't think those were actually in before, or if they were, they weren't working the same, or they weren't as common. So you can now get platforms that both slide side to side and up and down. Missing all my grapple shots. You see, I'm going, okay, I want to go into that room, right? But then that door that I just came from goes into... Wait, what? Oh, right, the connection goes through it. That one threw me for a loop. So, the grapple hook really makes you agile. And I mean, like, if you have enough grappleable objects in a room, you can get... Oh man. You can start going really fast. So, the tether beam also does this, but I think it only works in this room. I'd like to see more stuff like that, where you could power switches and objects with it. Maybe to, say, enable elevators or moving platforms in a room. Could be ways of pseudo-locking doors with it, by having, say, a door that's just straight out of reach unless you can enable an elevator. So, I don't want to necessarily progress yet. That's one of the things, even though the levels are less linear, they're still linear enough that, you know, if you're capable of pattern recognition, you can predict what's going to happen. So, this is a gravigun room. And I thought, oh wait, I can use the tether beam. But, no. These crates are special. I was somewhat disappointed that I was unable to sequence break, but... Yeah. I suppose I should have expected that. And here's the charge beam. Wasn't nearly as common before, though apparently it was in the game. But... well, let's just use it. Wrong item. You can't really tell from the close range here, but the blaster, when it's charged up, it homes in. Makes it a little easier to hit things, and of course they get mixed up going wrong. Where you want to go to the room in that door. Right there. So you see, like, maybe activating these things with power or something would cause changes in rooms. Or enemies, you know, to ambush you from behind. That could work too. So here's another room where a bunch of enemies seem to spawn all on top of each other. I'm not sure why. So as you might have noticed, these enemies don't actually have guns on them. They can still hurt you by running into you, because they have spike balls, which I think function as rudimentary melee weapons, but they don't have any guns. Double kill. I'm not sure if that's a bug with the guns. Not double kill, of course. But it does sort of present an interesting idea. Perhaps there could be faster enemies that only have melee weapons or something. That'd be cool. You see, this is where I noticed, though. Huh. There's no guns. Huh. Not really my problem. And of course, you can tether explosive stuff as well. I think it's only those special crates in the gravity gun rooms. That you can't, that is. So this was sort of like a key thing. The doors were locked until I picked up the key. This room isn't exactly like the best example of how that works because it was a very small room, but sometimes you get very large rooms and you have to sort of explore around. So, here's another way we could go. Dash room. Bear in mind that we still have plasma beam, bombs, gravity gun, missiles, and a couple others too, I think. Rooms that we could potentially be getting power-ups for. Meant to tether that, but... unintentional again, but still useful. So this time let's actually grapple. So yes, I was actually on the lookout for secret rooms while doing this. I'm not entirely sure where you'd find them though, but maybe they're underwater in some of these areas, maybe they're just hidden behind stuff. Perhaps you need the advanced vision, period, to, well, to see them at all. That would kind of suck though, I mean. I think the advanced vision should just reveal them on the map, if anything. So remember when I said I can't play on camera? I can't play on camera. Oh, slight video hiccup. Also, I can't play on camera. So let's get this guy. So you can root bosses to the floor as well, which is kind of nice. You can drag them around a little bit too. And you can also get completely wrecked by them or stuff like that. So this is one of these situations when the charge beam is really nice because it does home in on the center, and it does a fair amount of damage. It's a little weak, but you know, the homing kind of makes up for that. Now, charge beam on other beams. The ice beam, it freezes things solid, which is nice because the ice beam's slow effect is not exactly apparent for the most part. I think it should be a little bit more obvious. On the Oh, those are homing. I didn't even realize that while playing this. So, when this happened, I just started laughing. Like, this is literally me. I'm sitting at my computer, barely even looking at the monitor, just laughing. Because I did not know that was going to happen. I did not plan that. Like, not at all. So yes, with the spread shot, it's... no. It just adds 2 big things to the 4 that already fire. It's a bit useless with the spread shot, because you can't really hit anything with it. Spread shot's main ability is that... I don't know how grapple hooks can reach that far, but okay. Is that it can be rapid fired, and it puts out a lot of fire all at once. But the way that it works, it's almost like you're trying to hit with a blaster shot that's only as accurate as a spread shot. If that makes sense. And for the plasma beam, it just does more damage. Now, I suggested 2 little different effects for the spread shot. Perhaps make it fire either more shots when you charge it up, or say, make the shots home in, or something like that. And for the plasma beam, I said maybe make the range longer, or, what was the other thing? Make it fire continuously, like a, you know, like, well, what's a weapon that's like that? Secondary fire on the pulse gun in Unreal Tournament. I know someone's played that. Well, yeah, but okay. Obviously someone's played that. I know someone who watches this video has played that. You know what I mean. Like a long stream when you charge it up. Also, that was a high jump room. Well, high jump, double jump room over there. So we got the bombs, and there's a bomb door over there. So we're gonna have to go there to open it. I'm just showing the map so far. The areas. I mean, overall, I would definitely say that these 2 updates have improved the game by at least 100%. It's twice the game it was when the first alpha was released, definitely. Not to say that I disliked the first alpha, but it was an alpha, obviously. I understand what that means, and I understand that means it's not necessarily a complete game. This is something definitely sellable. It's got reasonably decent pacing. It can still get a little bit weird and tough at times. It's still got glitches, but if, say, if the first alpha was, you know, a poem, then this is like a short story, if you catch my drift, in terms of complexity. Yeah, it's actually a really bad metaphor. So, insert Ego Raptor Lemons joke. I was gonna make it, but then I didn't really miss it. I just thought, hey. Go shoot some lemons. Actually, we're gonna drop the lemons and they're going to explode. I actually really like those videos, the sequelitis ones. Game design is one of those things I love to sort of mull over in my head. Where, you know, what works, what doesn't. For example, this game, what works, what doesn't. For most part, most things work. So, this right here, this is important for Fruit. This is what's happening with the charge beam. The shots seem to deliberately arc around things. I'm not sure if that's an enemy ability, but I encounter an enemy of this same type later in the level, and it doesn't do that. To me, what that says is, it could be just, like, a negative sign is in the wrong spot or something. Or maybe it's just, like, when you're on one side of the enemy, it's adjusting, like, it says, like, a reversed vector, basically. Like, the vector's being multiplied by -1 for some reason. That might not be what it is, but that's what I'd suspect. Yeah, not that I've made 3D games before, but I understand sort of how such a thing would work. I've made 2D games before. Nothing big. So right now I'm really just looking for a save room. And here, oh, can I get the charge beam thing to work in a reproducible environment, you know, like, or a safer environment? No, of course not. That would be too easy. So, if you want to play on this level, and you have bought the game or are thinking of buying the game, all you have to do is enter the same seed I did with the same settings I did, and you should get exactly the same level. If you even enter the seed from the first video, you'll get a similar level, but it's been tweaked a little bit because of the map gen. And there's some new stuff that's going to be added. There's plans for more little environmental things, like foliage was the big thing. So, and this is the same type of enemy from what I can tell. But the shots seem to curve towards him this time. If you look there, in the other one they curve very far away from him. Naturally, this is a save room, so we're just going to save here. So it also occurs to me that I didn't exactly show how the saving stuff, how that whole system works. Basically, you can just see what worlds you've generated. Any you've generated, you can play on again without having to regenerate them. They're sorted or named by seed. And it shows you the saves on any one, you can select the saves. So, yeah, next update, hopefully I'll get a video out before the update comes after that. If not, well, you know, it'll come eventually.